Good evening and welcome to the news and this hour. I am Nena Nyama. We begin the news this evening with a report that the former secretary to the government of the Federation, Chief Olufalaye, who was kidnapped earlier this week, has regained his freedom. Falaye was kidnapped on Monday at his farm in Ondo State by people described as Fulani herdsmen. Closest had reported that the abductors had demanded 100 million naira ransom. It is, however, not known at the time of filing in this report if any ransom was paid for the release of the elder statesman. Muslims across the world have been charged to emulate the spirit of sacrifice and piety as displayed by Prophet Ibrahim. This also formed the charge for Muslim faithful who thronged the central Eid praying ground in Ado Ekiti to observe the Eid prayers. Rashid reports from Ado Ekiti.
If you call it Eid al-Adha, you're right. And if you call it Eid al-Kabir, you are not wrong. But every 10th day of the Hijjah of every year, Muslims across the world gather to celebrate and commemorate the piety and sacrifice of Prophet Ibrahim. And today in Ekiti State is of no exception.
Muslims in Ado Ekiti thronged the city's central Eid to observe the two commemoration salat and also to witness the slaughtering of ram by the Imam, symbolizing the act of Prophet Ibrahim. The rain was not enough to hinder the faithful who were bent on observing their religious rites. The slaughtering of rams came as the high point at the Eid prayer, which was supported with a call by Muslim clerics for all the believers to imbibe the sacrificial spirit of Prophet Ibrahim and walk in line of fostering unity and peace in the country.
Redeem his pledge. So whenever we make promise, we should try to fulfill our promise, even to ourselves, to our God. So we should try to replenish our pledges.
One love, and for irrespective of your ethnic group, where you have found yourself, see your brothers as your brothers keepers, to live in one love and pray for these nations to be free of disaster.
As Muslim faithful celebrate Eid al-Adha, the message of love, unity, piety and sacrifice embedded in it must not be lost, as these are the characteristics and things needed in this dire situation our country finds itself. And this should also be imbibed by Muslims and even non-Muslims alike. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
The Senate President Bukola Saraki has felicitated with the Muslim faithful on this year's celebration of Eid al-Kabir. He also urged Nigerians to make the fear of God the foundation for their lives. In his goodwill message to Nigerians to commemorate the Eid al-Kabir, Saraki said the festival symbolized the fear of Allah and the desire of man to always comply with the wish of his creator as exemplified by Prophet Ibrahim. He noted that with fear of Allah, mutual respect and love, Nigerians will be able to tolerate one another, work together and be able to harness the country's abundant resources as a progressive nation. He also called on all Nigerians to imbibe the spirit of love, tolerance and mutual respect, adding that these virtues are the panacea to move the nation forward. Also, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar wants Muslims to speak with one voice against extremism. This, he says, is because of the great harm it is causing the image of Islam and its adherents. This is a thrust of his message on the occasion of the Eid al-Kabir celebrations. The former president also wants Nigerians to rid their hearts and minds of hate, intolerance and prejudice, which he says promotes violence, conflict and destruction of life and property in the country. He appealed to Muslim faithful to pay greater attention to stemming and eliminating poisonous extremist tendencies by ensuring that people with violent ideologies are not allowed to influence the innocent in the wrong direction. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has called on Muslims in Nigeria to imbibe the values of peaceful coexistence and brotherly love as they join their counterparts worldwide to celebrate this year's Eid al-Kabir. In his goodwill message signed by his Chief Press Secretary Habib Aruno, Governor Ambode said, since Islam preaches the message of peace and tolerance, every Nigerian should embrace brotherly love and harmonious coexistence. He also enjoined Muslim faithful to pray for continued peace and tranquility in the state and the nation, especially in the northeast. while urging Muslims to shun religious extremism, which, according to him, is a challenging development for the country. The governor described those who hide under the veil of religion to perpetrate terrorism as being ignorant of the teachings of Islam, as nobody can fight for God. As Muslims across the world prepare to celebrate Eid al-Kabir, a visit to some motor parks in Lagos witnessed hike in transportation fare, a development many Nigerians complain bitterly about. Our correspondent Netsu Ilaveri has details of this story.
As some people eager to travel and spend time with family, relatives and friends, a lot of them are discouraged as they move from one transportation park to the other, hoping the price of transportation will be reduced.
I'm going to Osun State. We took it around maybe 1,150, 1,550, but now it's 2,250. May God bless us. We don't have any option.
I'm going to Ibadan. The price is somehow expensive to me because as I am now, I'm coming from Oyinbo. And they said from there, they said it's 1,500. So I have to come down to Ojota here to board the bus here. But unfortunately, I had this 1,000 naira. But before, it should be 800 and 700. So it's highly expensive.
I'm traveling because of the Salah. I'm going because I wanted to celebrate with my family and all that. Price is high now. Is 2,500. I'm managing because of the festival period. So that is how everybody just like paying the money. It's not that we are comfortable with it.
One of the drivers has this to say.
Well, there's no passenger this time around. We see our people, our buses here. They are queuing for back. There's no passenger. People are crying for money. We are not increasing our price. We are crying 2,050 naira here.
Many passengers have taken to the roadside expressway to board buses at reduced price, not minding the risk attached to this.
We don't used to travel on the road before, but this during this layer period. So the transportation stuff have increased. The money is increased already from 400 naira to 1,000 naira.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has urged Nigerians to use the season of the Eid al-Kabir to pray for abiding peace and unity in the country. The party says, irrespective of persuasions, Nigerians should maximize the period to reflect on the virtue of faith, service and total submission to the will of the Almighty God, as exemplified by Prophet Ibrahim. In a statement signed by PDP's National Publicity Secretary, Olisa Metu, it disclosed that Eid al-Kabir provides Nigerians a great opportunity to once again submit themselves to God and commit the nation and its leaders to Allah in prayers. Metu also urged the citizens to rededicate themselves to the values that unite while resisting all vices that seek to weaken their bond of unity as a people. The Commissioner of Ogun State, the Commissioner of Police in Ogun State, Command CP Abdul Majid Ali, has advocated the need for security chiefs to continually assist the police in implementing its policies and strategies that are geared toward proper policing of the Gateway State. The Commissioner disclosed this in Abeokuta during a meeting with all heads of security agencies in the state. The meeting had different security issues on the front burner, including fights against cultism, land speculation, restriction orders and operations of commercial motorcyclists, bars, joint and recreation centers within the state. The police boards also appreciated the support and understanding of the police command and enjoined all agencies in the time pressed while calling for more collaboration. We'll take a break now, return with more stories. To stay with us.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
Be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it's time to forgive me.
Please Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
You're still watching CoreTV News and this hour. For more than news stories, join us on our social media platforms, facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter at CoreTV News NG. On our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV leave a space news. The Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the President, Muhammadu Buhari, Femi Adesina, says the relationship between the media and federal government will have a facelift as government guarantees sincerity and commitment to upholding the press freedom. Adesina stated this at a public presentation of the first 2 volumes of a book entitled Nigerian Media Leaders, Voices Beyond the Newsroom, which was written by Richard Ikebe, held at the Eco Hotel and Suites, Lagos. He said President Muhammadu Buhari recognized the media as an ally and a critical partner in nation building and was in the know that without collaborating with the press, government developmental agenda would not have proper visibility. Presidential aide confirmed that Buhari's democratic convictions have also come with a realization, understanding and appreciation of the roles of a free media in the evolution of a new Nigeria, while asking for the right hand of fellowship of the media. The absence of counsel representing Abdullahi Alawo in court has stalled trial in a case filed against Mahmoud Tukru, Ochunogo Alex, Abdullahi Alawo and their companies on a 38-count charge of conspiracy in obtaining over 3 billion naira in an unearned subsidy fund. At the resumed hearing at the Lagos State High Court in Ikeja, Alawo's counsel, Aderemi Oguntoye, was conspicuously absent in court with no explanation on his whereabouts. The presiding judge, Justice Lateef Akakpo, expressed displeasure over his absence as he ordered prosecution counsel Rotimi Jacobs to write Oguntoye. Justice Akakpo then adjourned to October 7, 2015. Tragedy struck in Oshogbo, the Osun State capital, as 2 children of same parent have been confirmed dead in a fire outbreak that gutted a filling station. According to eyewitness, the wife of the owner of the petrol station located along Technical College Road and her 3 children were inside the building when the fire started at about 12 noon, killing 2 of the children. Our correspondent Rashid has more in this report.
Sympathizers who thronged the scene of the inferno to help put the fire under control before the arrival of the fire brigade service could not hold back their tears at the sight of the damage caused. One of the sympathizers, Ojo Williams, said the situation wouldn't have gotten worse but for the late arrival of the fire service.
Actually, it's unexpected something that we saw this morning. Suddenly, we just even see the fire out of the room with that woman, the wife of the owner of the property, with fire on his body. And to my own best of knowledge, I believe the source of the gunfire is through the fridge, a refrigerator. The light comes from that area. He entered the woman's body. From there, they wanted to quench the fire, but it's unable to do. So since then, the fire began to maybe moving speedily and destroy some property.
The director of Osun State Fire Service, Michael Ogundipe, who confirmed the incident, blames the extent of the destruction on the construction of the building, which according to him has only one escape route.
When the fire started, we don't know when the fire started, but when we met the fire when it was burning. So all our effort, the building construction is not good. The building construction is not in order, because if there is many entrances leading to that places, that is those people died in that incident could not have died. They have only one entrance. Why the other places have been blocked with the iron. So that is the causes of all those that reported inside that building.
In the inferno, the mother and her child have been taken to hospital for treatment, while the charred body of the dead children have been removed to mortuary by men of the Federal Road Safety Corps. Rashid,
CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
We'll take another break now, return with more stories outside Nigeria. Just stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Glad to have you back on the foreign scene. Not less than 150 pilgrims have been killed and 400 injured in a crash at Mina outside the city of Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's civil defense revealed that the casualties are victims of today's stampede, which took place in Mina on the outskirts of the holy city of Mecca. Reports says some 2 million people are taking part in this year's Hajj pilgrimage, which began on Tuesday. This Hajj season was already overshadowed by the crane accident that killed 107 people and injured more than 200 persons. At least 25 dead and dozens have been reported as 2 suspected suicide bombers attacked Shia Mosque in Yemen's capital, Sana'a. Though there was no immediate claim of responsibility, but Sana'a has been shaken by a string of bombings by the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant IC group in recent months, targeting Shia Muslims. Today's blast ripped through the Balili Mosque, where Houthi Shia rebels who control Sana'a go to pray. It came as worshippers marked Eid al-Adha, the feast of the sacrifice, the most important holiday of the Islamic calendar. Russian investigators have exhumed the remains of the country's last emperor Nicholas II and Empress Alexandra as part of a new probe to the 1918 killing of the Romanov family. The investigative committee confirmed some of the family's remains were being re-examined, with spokesman Vladimir Makin saying the probe would look into the circumstances of the death and burial of the imperial family. The Tsar, his wife, their 5 children and their servants were shot by the Bolsheviks and thrown into a mine shaft in 1918 before being burnt and hastily buried. Russia first looked into the murder of the family after a mass grave was discovered in 1991 nearly Katybrid in the Urals, where the royal couple and their 5 children were exiled and shot after the Russian Revolution. Scientists said the DNA evidence was sufficient to conclude that the grave contained the remains of the Tsar and Tsarina, along with 3 of the daughters, and the government officially identified them in 1998. The remains were then reburied in the erstwhile imperial capital, St. Petersburg. And now to sports. Super Eagles coach Sunday Olise has invited Arsenal youngster Alex Iwobi for Nigeria's friendly games against the Leopards of DR Congo on October 8 and Indomitable Lions of Cameroon on October 11. Iwobi, who scored his first goal for Arsenal in the 6-0 win over Lyon in a pre-season friendly, is the only addition to the new list of players for the friendlies released by the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF. In his website, NFF disclosed that the 19-year-old captain of the Ghana's under-21 side has been cleared by FIFA to play for Nigeria. The friendly games to be played in Belgium are to prepare the Eagles for their fixture against the winners of the preliminary round between Swaziland and Djibouti on November 9 in the 2018 World Cup first round qualifier. And finally, Swiss investigators have asked FIFA to give them access to the email account of the organization's suspended General Secretary, Jerome Valcke. In a statement, the office of Switzerland's Attorney General said the email accounts have been under seal by FIFA. A FIFA spokesperson said the association is committed to collaborating with the authorities, adding that it is an ongoing process. It will be recalled that Valkay was released from his duties pending an investigation following an allegation of selling World Cup tickets for above face value. Valkay, who has held his role at FIFA since 2007, has however denied what it described as outrageous allegations. And that's it on CoreTV News in this hour. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nina Nyama. Good evening.